Richard.
Yes, hello.
Yes, hello. Do you hear me clearly?
I do.
Oh, that's wonderful, Richard. My name is Elena, and I will be talking with you about all this incident around Area 51.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time, to chat with us about it, because in Russia it all seems so weird for us, to be honest.
Well,
What's going on there?
it's weird for Americans too, let me promise you.
All right, so can you explain for us, please, why there is so much interest around this mysterious Area 51?
Well, there's interest around it because there's actually a genuine mystery there. So I guess we should get that out of the way. For the past 30 years, we have known that there has been a secret base in the deserts of Nevada where some very, very top secret work has been done. And all of that is known. What has not been known, but has been alleged, is that this secret base has technology or science having to do with extraterrestrials or aliens. And one thing I would just point out is that the world came to know about Area 51 through the connection with extraterrestrials or alleged extraterrestrials. Before Bob Lazar made his claims in 1990 or 1989, 1990, nobody knew about Area 51. And he broke out into the news and said, yes, there's this place. And indeed, it has something to do with reverse engineering of alien technology. That's how we learned about Area 51. And ever since, it's been imbued with a great deal of mystery.
All right, so you're making our mystery more mysterious, I see. So, what makes people have this idea of storming? No, I'm sorry. So, the person who came up with the idea to storm this Area 51, at the beginning, he was saying that it was a joke. Why do you think people took it so seriously?
That's a very good question. It was a young man named Matty Roberts who watched an interview on the Joe Rogan podcast with Bob Lazar. And I think he was genuinely interested in the subject of UFOs. But yes, he started this idea of storming Area 51 clearly as a joke. And what's interesting is how millions of people, not thousands, millions of people, signed on Facebook to say, yes, we will storm Area 51. And it really quickly developed into this mania. I think the reason is simply that, we're in an era now of social media and instant communication. So that's one thing. People are able to, things can just ramp up very, very quickly. But also, I think Area 51 and UFOs in general have never gone away in the public imagination, certainly not in the United States. There have been many sightings of apparent UFOs in the vicinity of Area 51, and people know about that, and there's always been the stories. So I think it's just captured the imagination of a lot of people.
All right, this I understand. I like fairy tales, even if they're not really fairy tales and based on something mysterious. So the US military has warned people not to try to enter the base, right? And could this campaign have serious consequences? How do you think? And could people end up getting harmed or jailed? So can it go somewhere further than just chatting online?
Well, yes, of course, this could be a very dangerous thing. The area where these people are meeting, near Rachel, Nevada, is not a well-populated area. There's not a large infrastructure to accommodate thousands of people who are expected to arrive and show up. In fact, people have been showing up already, and I believe it's already causing some strain. This is a very difficult environment. It's a desert, and there's not a lot of running water. There's not a lot of sanitation. So it could be a very dangerous thing. I don't think anyone is going to be so foolish as to try to storm Area 51. It's still a long distance away from where these people will be meeting. And there's a great deal of security, and the environment itself is very, very difficult. But even the gathering that is expected to be going on, the authorities have to be very careful about making sure everyone is kept hydrated and fed and safe. And I hope that they do a good job.
But authorities were quite direct in their restrictions of not going there. Yeah, why they were not just kind of like making no they it was all jokes around. Yeah, why they were replying so strict to it? How do you think?
Well, authorities did not want people to approach Area 51 for a lot of reasons. The first is that it's an active military base where a lot of serious things are going on. Obviously, I mean, over the last 30 years, many people have tried to enter that restricted area, and they never get far, and they will always get arrested shortly, after they pass the line where they're not supposed to go. So people know they're not supposed to do it. Um, I don't think that anyone is likely to break the law and actually to try to storm this place. I think the most they're going to do is have a party, have a conference, have a festival in the town where they're allowed to have it, and I have a feeling that's about all that's going to come out of it.
Yeah, all right. No, that's what we are thinking here too. Yeah, it's just like, what can you tell me your no, because I know that you have the real like serious researches, yeah. And what about all this conspiracy that is around
Right.
Area 51? Yeah, do you think there is any truth in them? Like,
Well, yes, it was funny. You mentioned you considered it a fantasy or a fairy tale, and I will just say that I do not. The UFO subject is one in the United States and actually worldwide that's a genuine phenomenon. Now, what it is, where these things are from, is another question. But what we have seen over many many years is that there have been many objects reported by militaries around the world. The American military has reported large numbers of objects that are not easily explainable in any conventional way. We don't understand how the technology can allow something to accelerate instantly, stop instantly, move in multiple thousands of miles per hour without making a sound, and so on. And this has been going on a long time. So there's a phenomenon that's there, and it's real, and it's worthy of serious minds to study. Regarding Area 51, there have been some serious investigative journalists who have, in fact, interviewed many individuals who have worked inside Area 51, many insiders, several dozen. And they all say pretty much the same thing, which is that many of them claim that there are exotic technologies way, way beyond what we officially know about. And yes, there have been rumors, whether they're true or not, of extraterrestrials inside Area 51. So you can take it for what it's worth.
okay, so you kind of you have you don't think that it's all conspiracy talks, yeah? It's like you have the reason behind. You think that there is a reason and factual information behind it, yeah? Do I understand
Well,
you correct?
I would say that, conspiracies are real things, right? We all know that there are such things as conspiracies. And when we call something a conspiracy theory, we're really just trying to dismiss it because we don't really want to deal with it. But there are conspiracies. There are secrecy that goes on in this world. What I would consider myself is someone who studies covert operations and who studies secrecy, and I've done it for most of my life. So, in the case of something like Area 51, I would say that there's a phenomenon that's worth looking at there. Absolutely, I would. What the answer is something that I think we would all like to know, but I would not be inclined to dismiss this, to dismiss all the claims as fantasy. I think that there's a reality there. We need to find out what it is.
No, so that's what these guys on Facebook are trying to do, yeah, to find out something where it is. But do you know this principle of advocacy of devil? Yeah, so if officials could just have made a clear announcement that there is nothing to find in Area 51, yeah, do you think that their secrecy is actually kind of like fuel the speculations about the alien topic?
Well, government secrecy always will fuel all kinds of speculation. When you have a government that is not transparent, it's going to lose the confidence of the people. This was the lesson of the Soviet Union. It's the lesson of the United States today, where there is a lack of transparency, where people know that they're not getting the truth from their government on a large number of matters. So yes, of course they're going to wonder. What you see in this case is that many historians and researchers of all types have done their own work, and they've done their own research, and they have concluded that, government pronouncements that there's nothing to this, that all of this is fantasy, that these are not believable, that there has been something going on. And just in the last couple of years, we've seen a real turnaround in the United States on this matter relating to official pronouncements about UFOs. It's really quite remarkable. The United States Navy, for example, has just made the incredible claim just a few days ago that the 3 videos that have been released recently of alleged UFOs are indeed UFOs. They don't know what they are. They've actually acknowledged it. They acknowledge that they continue to research and study UFOs. So that's a very, very extraordinary statement. So I think people are recognizing, it's no longer something silly. That's actually really old-fashioned to kind of dismiss the UFO subject as fantasy and silly. I think smart people are now realizing there's actually something important here, and all of us would benefit from trying to understand just what it is.
Richard, I got such a pleasure of getting your comment on this story. Clarified for me a lot the whole attitude that you have to Area 51, because from far away, we were thinking that it's all a bit exaggeration, to be honest. Yeah, I was reading the articles, but I was like, no, I mean, not about UFO topic in general,
I understand.
Yeah, just about the foozing around the area, yeah. But how you describe it, it's more clear now for me that it's like, it is some of the legendary area, yeah, that people are interested.
Indeed. Look, there have been a lot of very serious people over the last 30 years who have devoted a lot of their lives to trying to understand what's going on there. And it's true, Area 51 has also taken on this element of pop culture. It's everywhere. It's in movies. It's in every kind of meme that's out there. And so it is easy to turn it into a kind of a joke or a big carnival. And so I understand that tendency that people will have to do that. And in fact, a lot of this Storm Area 51 event, I think, has a lot of that element to it. To me, that's unfortunate, but it's unavoidable in today's era, where we are in these days. But there is a serious element to it, for sure. And I can tell you, look, I've studied UFOs now for almost 30 years myself, and it can be really, really bewildering and difficult, but it's also very rewarding. It's probably been the best, most amazing thing that I could have ever done with the last 3 decades of my life, and I'm so very glad that I've been throwing myself into it, and I have no intention of leaving it.
Oh, thank you so much, Richard. So I will be more serious to this topic after the dialogue with you, to be honest. All right, so now I'm going to prepare the material for an air in a few hours. You watch yourself. Okay.
Wonderful. What will this appear on, by the way? Is this just standard RT News, or is this for a show?
It is for a standard 13 use, a comment to our, there was a correspondent having a story, and then after we have the expert comment, and here you are appearing after. And
the story. I'm just glad. I'm hoping this doesn't turn into a hit piece. It sounded a little bit like that when you started, but I gather that you modified your.
You are serious, yeah, about the. I was not, but I cannot. Reword your words, yeah? So you talk how you talk.
Fabulous, yeah. That's all I ask.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Richard.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
A pleasure for me too. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.